Maybe that'll have to be one of my new skills. My new skill for lockdown was learning how to lip read. That would be cool. Then all those people that are talking to their spouses and their partners on the side, I'll be able to see what you're saying. Cool. Cool, cool. Let's just check nothing else going on. Okie dokie. So let's get cracking. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to online Zoom day, which I usually do on Wednesdays, and then somebody switched off my creativity button a couple of days ago, so now it's on a Thursday. Luckily, the creativity button got switched back on at some point, because I spent 3 days doing pretty much nothing except for mowing my lawn, which was quite interesting. I haven't mowed grass for years and years and years, and the fact that my lawnmower still worked was even a miracle. So that was pretty cool. So welcome everybody to the call. Are you ready to be great? Are you willing to be great? And all the points of view that you have, that you don't know what that means, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, papadal, nine, short boys and beyonds. So for anybody, I'm just looking here, for anybody that's new to Access Consciousness and new to my Zoom calls, there will be people that are watching the replay later. We work with the Access Consciousness tools and techniques, which we will use during the call. But one of them that I want to just quickly share with you is called the Access Clearing Statement. And if you've never heard it before, it sounds pretty weird. It's like this. We say everything that brings up, talking to the energy of the limitation or wherever you're stuck, or the false belief that you're stuck with. Will you destroy and uncreate it? And when I ask that, then you choose yes or no. And if you choose to let it go, then I'm going to say right and wrong, good and bad, pod and park, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. And basically what that does is it energetically transforms everywhere you've aligned and agreed or resisted or reacted to a point of view that you have still got a charge on, and that you are using to create your current reality, so that you can get to a space of neutrality, a space of no charge, so then you have total choice. Because all the time you're locked into false beliefs or identities or whatever, you're creating your life from those points of view, and they may not be working for you anymore. So if you want some more information on the clearing statement, please go to www.theclearingstatement.com to get some more information. And also on my YouTube channel, there's some videos of a group of bars practitioners and facilitators in South Africa and Botswana that had a chat through how we use the Access Consciousness tools. So those are pretty handy. You're welcome to go to my YouTube channel to watch those to see how the tools work. So, okay, so this call will be created by your questions. So please feel free to always ask questions. There's never a stupid question. Every single question that gets asked on these calls is a contribution to everyone, because somewhere along the line, we have very similar things playing out for us. We've been brought up in a reality that has taught us to judge everything. We've been brought up in a reality that's taught us to judge ourselves in particular. We've been taught to use judgment to control our behavior. We've been taught to use judgment to try and be a better person. But actually, judgment is not a creative energy, it's a destructive energy. And what it really does is just limits you and defines you and shuts you down from you being all of you. So everywhere you have been programmed and conditioned into judging yourself and judging everyone else and everything around you, would you now like to destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, and nine, short boys and beyond. What if the world could be a kinder place if there was less judgment? What if we would have access to more of us if we judged ourselves less? What if we would have access to our knowing, being, perceiving, and receiving if we stopped judging ourselves? So if you, I thought that judgment would make me a better person. All it did was make me a depressed person. Didn't really work. So What will it take for us to get out of judgment of ourselves so that we can function from knowing, being, perceiving, and receiving, from those energies of us as an energetic being and an infinite being? So, truth, are you energetic beings? Truth, are you infinite beings? If that's light for you, please acknowledge that. Acknowledge that you're an infinite being. And would an infinite being be limited? Or would an infinite being have access to infinite possibilities and infinite choice? And would an infinite being have access to all of that with ease without having to plow through all the limitations and the definitions and the judgments? So everything that's not allowing you ease with that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, line, short, boys, and beyonds. Valeria, you've got your hand is up. Would you like to ask a question, or are you just waving at me?
Yeah, I want to ask a question.
Cool.
Thank you. Do you hear me well?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, okay. I want to clarify what's the difference between our judgments about ourselves, our judgments about others, and our awareness about judgments about other people. Like then where they judge themselves, and I'm aware about this, and I think that it's judgment about all of these people.
Yes, awesome. So mostly when you're aware of other people's judgments, you're aware of their judgments of themselves, or you can be aware of their judgment of you. And a judgment has a heavy contracted energy to it. So whenever it gets heavy or sticky or contracted or feels yuck, know, first of all, that if it's heavy, it's a lie. And often people's judgments of you are more about their judgments of themselves. It's where they've actually judged themselves that they are now having the judgment of you. And it really has then nothing to do with you. And your judgment of yourself, when you're judging others, is more about your judgment of yourself than it is of others. So everywhere, and everywhere you're not, okay, wait, let me change that. So judgments are always heavy and awareness is light. So you can have an awareness of how people are functioning, have an awareness of their choices. You can have an awareness of whether their choice is working or not. You can have an awareness of how they're judging themselves. But it's not about judging your awareness. We are aware of everything. We are aware of everything. We're energetic beings, so we are picking up everything energetically. So if you're getting an awareness of a judgment, it's going to feel heavy, and then immediately you can acknowledge that's a lie, because if the energy is heavy, it's a lie. And that is interesting point of view, is your tool for judgment, and return to sender with consciousness attached, or let it go into the universe with consciousness attached. Awareness is light. So you can observe that perhaps somebody is judging themselves or judging someone else. And providing you don't make it right or wrong, it's just an awareness. The minute you make it right or wrong is when you change it into a judgment. And we've been taught to turn our awareness into judgment almost instantaneously. It happens really fast. So as soon as you notice that you've got into judgment, use the tool interesting point of view, I have that point of view, or interesting point of view, they have that point of view, so that you're not the effect of judgment. So you can just be an observer. So if you can be a neutral observer of everything without making anything right or wrong, you have way more allowance of everyone else, and you'll have way more allowance of you. So awareness is light and judgment is heavy. Valeria, does that did that help?
So in this case, when I started like thinking, not exactly about judgments,
Yeah.
or I hate this, or I don't like this this man or this woman, for example.
Yeah.
Immediately, like if I use these two interesting point of view, I have this point of view, and if I feel lighter, it appears and it judgment themselves about them. Yes.
Yeah.
Not.
Well, you can ask a question. Am I aware of their judgments of themselves?
Oh, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, so that you may just have an awareness of how much they're judging themselves, because their energy will be heavy. If they're doing a lot of judgment of themselves, they'll have a heavy energy.
Yeah, it's clear.
Sorry, Jane?
Yeah,
Can I ask a question?
of course.
How do we use the Access Consciousness tools to start shifting this crisis that I believe people have overreacted to? Because it's starting to, I've noticed it's started to have quite a negative impact on people's emotional and mental well-being.
Yeah.
And I'm also concerned going into winter that so many millions of people are not going to have a job or food or shelter. And at this point in time in South Africa, we've had 5,000 cases. It feels to me that there's this horrible overreaction. How do we help to start making a shift?
Okay, so first of all is to not, if we're in charge on any of the decisions and anything that's happening around the world right now, where we've decided what's right and what's wrong, you are solidifying that energy, even if you don't like it. So if you've decided that, I don't know, the phased approach to unlocking the country is wrong, and you put a lot of energy on that, you keep creating that because of the energy that you're being with it. If you can then, like, and I'm not saying this is going to be easy, right? We've never encountered something like this in our lives before. So this is a lot of, so there's a bit of feedback. I'm just going to put you on mute if you don't mind. If you want to ask a question, then just unmute again. So we've never been in this kind of situation before, ever. I mean, unless you've kind of got born during the World War or something like that, where we've had a worldwide event occur that is individually impacting everybody in their own unique way. So there are a gazillion different points of view going on around there, and a lot of, and what happens when you try and make something right, you want to prove you're right. You want to prove that your point of view is the right point of view, and you keep on solidifying that point of view. The problem is that when you've got the other side to that, you're still giving it energy, even though you're on this side of the coin, if that makes sense. It doesn't matter what side of the coin you're on, whether you're aligning and agreeing with it or resisting or reacting to it, you're still giving that thing energy. So if you can get to a neutral space where it's an interesting point of view, I have that point of view, interesting point of view, I have that point of view, interesting point of view, I have that point of view, until you're neutral. And then you can ask a question, what contribution can I be? What energy can I be here that is going to create something greater? And this is when you're asking, can I create something greater? You don't have to know what that is. It's about being the energy of the possibility for something greater. Because if we try and decide what that greater is going to be, it may be greater for this portion of the community, but not that portion of the community. So this is where you can engage with the universe, that the universe has a greater consciousness and a greater perspective, so to speak. Consciousness of it is greater than what we kind of are aware of right now. But we can contribute to that energetically. But if we have a point of view, we're going into winter, it's going to get worse. That's what you're creating, because your point of view creates your reality. So what if that doesn't have to occur, but it will occur based on our points of view. So collectively, if we are all in fear of something, or not wanting something to happen, or in resistance of something, that is what's going to get created, because that's where the attention and the focus is going. The universe speaks energy. It doesn't speak words. It doesn't speak right or wrong or good or bad. It goes to where the energy is.
So I don't believe the virus is going to get worse in winter. I'm just saying economically, with so many people who have lost their jobs, yeah. I'm concerned about their overall well-being.
Sure.
But I don't believe the virus.
Okay, so sorry, you said something about going into winter. So I kind of...
Yes, with so many people that don't have jobs, and they don't have shelter, and that now they haven't got the money for food and warm clothing and blankets.
That is that point of view. So this is like, I'm not dishonoring your caring for people. what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
let's get to a different space of how we contribute to others. Because if we're in the space of, oh, people don't have jobs, we're going into winter, it's going to get worse for them, they're not going to have money, they're not going to have food, they're not going to have shelter. That is what's getting created from your points of view and from your worry. So it's like, what else is possible? What contribution can I be? And if you ask, so if I say to you, okay, so would you like to help someone, or would you like to contribute to someone? Which one is lighter for you?
Contribute.
Yeah, because what happens with helping others is, sorry. Okay, you mute yourself. I'm interfering here now. That's like, it's like we're doing double. So when we say we want to help someone, what happens with the help is it comes from judgment. And the judgment is like, I know what's better for you, or I've decided you're in a bad place, or something like that. You've judged and concluded that person's situation. And when you're trying to help someone, would you rather do it from a space of empowerment or disempowerment? If you've decided somebody doesn't have a job or somebody doesn't have money, you've disempowered them in a way. So this is now, what energy can we be to uplift and empower everyone? So what else is possible for them? What contribution can I be? And sometimes it's maybe not even a physical thing. It may not be doing food packs or something like that, but the energy that you're being with them is a contribution. So please do not acknowledge or ignore the contribution we can be energetically to what's going on in the world, because it doesn't always have to be an action. If we are always in the energy of what else is possible, how can it get greater than this? I wonder what else is going to get created from this situation. I wonder what people will choose now that they've never chosen before, because this is our time to be greater than what we've ever been before. Because this is where we've now got to really go deep and see, what are we capable of? What can we choose? What ideas do we have? What projects can we initiate? All these parts of ourselves that we have been tapping down, suppressing, ignoring, not even looking for, can be something that we can step into being greater. Because what else is possible for us in what our capacities are, or our talents are, and our abilities are, and what parts of those things can we then contribute to others, right? To empower other people too. It's now that space of like, some people you will need to give fish, but what else can we do in order to teach people to fish? But not from that space of, oh, this is terrible, what's going to happen now? Do you see, when you start saying, oh, this is terrible, and they don't have jobs, and people don't have money, and they don't have food, how that energy starts getting contracted and heavier and heavier? And is that contributing energetically to them? Or what else is possible? What else can they choose? Like, how can the universe contribute? What contribution can I be? And you open up the energy so that it can change it energetically. This is the time to learn to work with the energetics of things, not our points of view of things.
So that's quite cool, Jenny. Which is a nice example, I think, of the being greater. So when I initially saw your invite, it got me thinking about what is greater, and my instant reaction when I think of greater is,
the house,
Virgin Dude, or Michelangelo, or Lady Gaga, or one of those, Leonardo da Vinci. You automatically think great, and you think, fuck, there's no way in hell that I can be that.
Yeah.
But what I liked about what you said now is great doesn't have to be that.
No.
Great can be, like you just said, choosing in that moment to be the space when and if you catch yourself lifetime, obviously.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're going to these brain trips for
Yeah.
hours on end. When you do catch yourself and you can go, wait, what point of view is this that I'm sitting with? And can I change that point of view? And through that one simple thing, you're actually being great. And that's what I liked about what you just said. It doesn't have to be this huge thing.
No. So thank you for that. So all the definitions you have of what greater means, will you now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, line, short, boys and beyonds. Because the mind gives you what you've already experienced. But we are infinite beings and we exist beyond the mind. So we like kind of so programmed and conditioned from the mind, the limitations of the mind, the definitions of the mind, the judgments from the mind. And we've created our lives based on that. But now what if we can go beyond that and create something greater? Because as infinite beings, would you be limited by a mind? So everywhere you have been taught, conditioned, addicted to the mind, everywhere you are addicted to figuring out the mind, everywhere you're addicted to getting the mind right, will you now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, line, short, boys and beyonds. So all your definitions you have of what is greater, will you destroy and uncreate that? Times by a Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, line, short, boys and beyonds. Because the definition is like, this is what I think great is. And when you do it from a defined point of view, what happens is then you go outside of yourself to get all the judgments and to catch all the judgments to see whether it matches your definition of what great means. And then you start judging yourself as to whether you are meeting that criteria or not. So what if greater doesn't have a definition? What if greater is we have no clue really what greater can be, because we've always tried to do it from the mind? What if greater can be something beyond the mind? And that is something that you can then, by asking questions, connect and have communion with the universe. And the universe can bring different things to you as if by magic. So would you be willing to have the magic? And would you be willing to have the magic and let go of the mind? So everywhere you're still choosing mind instead of magic, will you destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, line, short, boys and beyonds. And what if you could have the magic of you? So everything not allowing that, times by Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, line, short, boys and beyonds. So how do you not have the magic of you? Often it's the definitions, the judgments, the identities, the images, the things that you're trying to uphold. Dale, do you want to ask something? Hello, Dottie.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. How are you doing?
Yeah.
On my walk again.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, if I may, go back to a comment you were making about being the energy of contribution or whatever.
Yeah.
I think for me, and maybe a lot of other people, especially in these times, is I'm kind of for me, I'm kind of like, I really struggle with that at times. I have moments like, is this really a contribution? It's so overwhelming. It's so much. And I think I would, if it's possible, to just do some kind of, if you're able to kind of go with this, or if it's possible to just some kind of clearing on where we're not seeing ourselves as energy, that it always has to, it's because we define ourselves by how we do it and how we are with things. But I think this is the time now when we really, it's showing us how much the energy is like the energy of the universe. I mean, it sounds so weird, but so for me, it's like I really desire to be more of the energy rather than having to, not that one's not doing, but it's like the wrongness of, oh God, I should be doing it. If I be the energy, it's like somewhere in there's a belief or a something that makes me think that I'm not being enough energy or being enough whatever. That was the one thing. The other thing I can't remember. If I do, I'll come back to it. But
Okay.
something that you could address on that. It's like, I for me, I know I'm being an energy, and then I go into like, oh God, is it enough? Is this really what? So somewhere there's
So is that
yeah.
doubt?
Yeah. Yeah.
So with doubt, it's a distractor implant.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to figure out with a distractor implant. That's the insidiousness of a distractor implant, is it draws you in like like a vacuum cleaner, right?
Right.
And it pulls you in, and then the mind, that is how you it engages the mind, right? And then the mind gets involved and wants to work it out and figure it out, and you get this addictive obsessive thinking that goes on with this. Oh, that maybe I'm not okay, no, but I want to do more. Yeah, but that's like no, I mean, it's like, who do I think I am that I can actually do this or be this or whatever the doubting thoughts are. Is with doubt, there's nothing you can do except destroy and uncreate it. And you've just got to catch it every single time you go to that space. You've got to destroy and uncreate the doubt. So all the distractor implants of fear and doubt will you now destroy and uncreate it all. Times by Godzillion, right, Tronco, Bear, Papalan, Shortways, and beyond. Fear and doubt cannot be handled. You have to destroy and uncreate them. B wants to ask something. You need to unmute. You want me to unmute? Oh, no, you're unmuting.
So,
I'll get back to you now.
When you said the word doubt, because I wanted to ask for help with my severe, almost physical overreactions that I have at the moment.
Yeah.
When people send me YouTube videos of, there's all these Illuminati and conspiracy and those videos, and I choose to watch them because I want to know what's in them.
Sure.
However, one thing this morning triggered me so tremendously that I was ready to actually tell my friend, I'm done with you. So I got totally into judgment. So, because it was about, in Germany, they have done an autopsy on a lot of the dead bodies from Corona. And yesterday on the German news, it was that some of them haven't actually died of Corona, but of other causes, but they were put into the So now today there's a YouTube video, and this friend of mine, so the thing is underneath is autopsy done on all Corona victims, and none of them died of it. So there we are now. And I almost felt like I want to vomit. Now, is my overreaction to that because it created doubt in me?
Well, is it that, or were you aware of a lie?
Well, that's the question. You see, even talking
about
it.
Well, I'm asking you. Yeah, so are you aware of the lies?
Yeah, but of which lies?
All of them.
Yeah, but it's an interpretation, isn't it? Whether it's a lie or not a lie, it's your own interpretation.
So the awareness of the lies has actually then I let go of it, or I went with it, let me put it that way.
Well, the thing is, anger is a distractor implant, but anger can also be an awareness of a lie. So you have to ask a question, is this a distractor implant, or am I aware of a lie here? Because as soon as you can acknowledge you're aware of the lie, the anger will go away. If the anger lingers and it's a distractor implant, then you can destroy and uncreate it.
Okay.
So this is your awareness, right? This is your awareness. And you're like, now, okay, so you get this extreme anger, but if you acknowledge, oh, there's a lie here, spoken or unspoken, it may not even be spoken, but you're aware of the energy of the lie. Because there's, there's a I mean, like, what are we going to do? Perpetuate the stories? But the doctors are being told to, on their checklist, right? When somebody dies, as if somebody had the virus, they've got to like kind of tick they had the virus, and then they're using that in the stats to prove that people are dying of the virus and therefore it's dangerous, so they can uphold their point of view about the lockdown. Is that the lie you're aware of? When they actually died from something else because they had underlying causes, conditions. So this is where you've got to follow the energy, and this is where you've got to acknowledge how aware you are. We are not dumb, and we are not stupid with this. We know that there are all kinds of things going on, and there's a lot of news and a lot of fake news and a lot of people trying to prove their points of view. Because this is the thing, once somebody's decided something, they've got to prove that their decision is right and correct. So then what happens is they go and find all the evidence they can to prove their point of view. Now, this is where you can use your awareness. Okay, no, this doesn't work for me. What am I aware of? Yeah, light and heavy, right? Light is true for you, heavy is a lie. Yeah.
Jenny, sorry, that triggers something in me, because on one hand, and maybe that's true for other people as well, we try to understand where we're standing with that whole, I don't know, pandemic or something, and what's right and wrong. And for me, I just came to, I can't say conclusion, it's not a conclusion, but I look at these things, or to those news, to those videos and something. For some people, it's very true, and that's fine, but it doesn't have to be true to me. What I'm saying is there may not only be one truth, and we all want to have this one truth. And if I find myself getting caught in all of that, and what all the, you know, the social things, what comes with it, then I know it has me. So I'm just, and that's again the judgment, finding out what's right and wrong, the truth in it or something. So I do the best I can to stay in a neutral place, and I just see it if I get videos. And I have said to friends, please do not send me any Corona videos. It's a challenge for them, but I'm just looking at it and I go, oh, thank you to bringing something to my attention.
Yeah.
You know, it's not to judge it. I don't know. I don't want to get in the middle of the judgment. So it's sometimes also difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing, is when you're watching something, it's not about trying to find the rightness or the wrongness of it. You want to know what's true for you. So if it's light, it's true for you. If it's heavy, it's a lie. If somebody sends you something, you can ask, okay, do I need to watch this? And if you get a heavy contracted energy, don't watch it. Follow your awareness. Yes, we do require information and we do require facts, but you don't have to suck everything in. You know, so you can so everything that comes to you, you can say, okay, is it going to be a contribution to me if I watch this or I read this? And if it's heavy, then don't. And if it's light, then do. And this is the thing too, is like, it's a unique path for all of us. And the truth that we seek is not outside of us. The truth that we seek is inside of us. It's who we are, how we can respond to this, and how we can be with this, and how we can create greater from this. That's the truth that we seek. At the moment, you're scrabbling outside of you to find out where's the truth. You'd know the truth if you'd be willing to follow your awareness. Nobody can give you your truth. So everything that brings up comes by Vitalem, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, out, align, short boys, and beyonds. You don't have to align and agree or resist or react to anybody else's points of view. Find your truth. Find out what works for you. And the more you do that, the more you become willing to trust your own awareness and what you know, and not get swayed from that by other people's points of view, no matter how intense they are with impaling their point of view on you. You stay with your truth.
Sorry, Jenny?
Yeah.
The one thing I'm really struggling with, and I think I really need some help to get past this, is with having to wear a face mask every time we leave the house for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't see it as a mask. I see it as a gag, and I see it as the silencing of the lambs. And I need to get beyond that, because every time I have to put a face mask on, I get angry.
Okay. So is that a symbol for you of the lies?
Very much so. And everyone's wearing it as if they believe the lies.
Yes. Okay. So all the anger, so the distractor implants on that are anger, rage, fury, and hate. So all the distractor implants of anger, rage, fury, and hate that you have for the restrictions, the regulations, and the rules that are being imposed on us, will you now destroy and uncreate them all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, busy, meals. Because the thing is, we often like to stay with the anger because we feel like it's creating more or giving us some sense of control. But the thing is, when anger is acting as a distractor implant, you're going to be the effect of that anger. So you don't want to be the effect of anger, you want awareness. And any anger, if it's not triggering your awareness that it's a lie, it's a distractor implant. And if it's a distractor implant, it's cutting you off from your awareness. That's what distractor implants do, is they put you in this washing machine and they turn you around this way, and you think and you overthink and you try and work it out, and blah, blah, blah. As soon as you get into that whole mind thing going, you know that you're in some kind of distractor implant. So destroy and uncreate it, and keep on destroying and uncreating until you're like that energy, that trigger, that emotional response has changed. And then you can ask, okay, so what will it take for me to be able to wear the mask with ease? Now, we all have our personal points of view about wearing the mask. I prefer to build my immune system. I don't want to cut myself off from the herd. Do you know what I mean? We build our immunity based on our interaction with each other. It's required for us to maintain a strong species. So, but I'm going to, what's going to create more ease for me to go to the shops is do I believe in the face mask? No. Am I going to put it on so I can have more ease moving around? Yes. What's going to create more for me? And also, do you want to feed other people's fear? Not particularly. I don't want them impelling their fear on me. So I'll wear a face mask. It'll create more ease for everyone. But I don't believe in it. So, and that's my personal point of view. So please don't take that as your point of view. You've got to follow what's heavy and light for you. But the key is to get out of the emotional responses to everything so that you can be aware and access your truth and ask questions. And you'll have more ease with asking questions about what's going to create more for you if you're not charged on something. So interesting point of view. And the access clearing statement is what helps change the charge. Also, remember that we are energetic beings and we are picking up everybody else's energies too. So if you've decided, if in that split second you're going, flip, I don't want to wear a face mask, and you get triggered by the lies that are behind us having to wear the face mask, then you will entrain with everybody else's anger and frustration with the face mask, and then it intensifies that energy for you. And then it kind of gets really and then it's not comfortable, I'm sure. That you're like every time you're going to put a face mask on, you want to blow up the world. So remember, is this mine? So return to sender. Everything, return to sender with consciousness attached, lots of consciousness, lots of awareness. Just let it go so that you're not trying to handle everybody else's energy around it too. Because we entrain, right? If we've got an energy or vibration on something, whatever matches that is going to come to us, because the universe brings you what your energy is with something. So change your energy, you can change the outcome. And collectively, if all of us are willing to step into being more of us, this is the contribution we can be to creating a change and having a different reality in the future and going forward. Don't underestimate your contribution you can be energetically to the world. And if you think it's overwhelming and it's just me, so this is going to your point, Dale, it's not just you, right? It's not just you, it's you. So everywhere you're going, it's just me, or what difference can I make on my own? If all those points of view that you have where you're diminishing yourself and making yourself less than and thinking you cannot be the contribution, will you please now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, papala, and shortways and beyond. And everywhere you've dumbed yourself down into being pathetic, instead of the magnificent, infinite being you truly be, will you now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, papala, and shortways and beyond. So those judgments, those definitions, those identities that you have of yourself are all the things that you are using to limit you. If you would be willing to let them all go, you can step into being more of you with ease and destroy and uncreate the fear, the doubt, the anger. Those are distractor implants. Those are designed to stop you from being all of you. They are designed for you not to reach your full, not to be able to access your potency and your awareness. Be willing to destroy and uncreate them. Make the demand that you're no longer going to function in a flippin' washing machine. It's over now, and it's now time to be greater. And they may externally tap everybody, try and control everybody, put us in a box, whatever. You cannot contain or control an infinite being. We are energetic beings. It's only through the mind that they can try and control you. If you're willing to go beyond the mind, they will not be able to control you. You will be able to step into the regulations and the restrictions with ease and still be all of you. Can you, Rose, can you still be all of you even if you're wearing a mask? You could if you didn't have a point of view about it.
Yeah, I'm saying on the inside, but you know, everyone's hiding everyone's smile, and that's basically what's been feeding me during these restrictions. Is when I go shopping to see people smile at me, and go like, we can't even smile at each other.
Yeah, but can you smile at yourself? Can you smile for you? This is the key: is to be it for you. We don't. So, like everywhere we think we need something from someone else. And from the outside world, will you now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, good, bad, pop online, shoppers and millions. And what if you can be that energy that you would like to see in the world? So if you would like everybody to smile at you, what if you smile at everybody? And that by being more of you, being all of you, even if you have a mask on, you can be that energy. And that is the energy you create in the world. Because even if somebody doesn't smile back at you, you've changed the energy of that person by smiling at them and acknowledging them. And that's how we can pay it forward and create greater. But it's about being everything you'd like to see out there, be it here inside. Sorry?
Can I just throw something in there? I've just come from the shops and I was wearing a mask.
Good for you.
Smile, when you
Good
smile
girl.
behind your mask, you smile with your eyes and people do respond.
Yeah.
This is a belief that people don't see, but your eyes, and I've just watched Jenny's face now. When she smiled, the eyebrows lifted, and there's a thing going on with the eyes. And at the shop, because everybody was wearing the mask, because at our Pick n Pay, you're not allowed in without it anymore. They're already practicing what's going tomorrow. And yet at the till, we had fat, smiley things going on without seeing the face. So it is really, I think it's a belief. And if this is what might or might not do the better for all.
We could start a new language. We could have a new eyebrow language. You could, like, as you walk past people, right? You could start flirty eyebrows.
I put one thing in. There was this Chinese lady, or Japanese, well, she had eyes like that, but she was wearing a swimming mask. Not like little goggles, but a full-blown dive mask. And then she had a shield from there, and she had gloves, those yellow thick gloves from the, it was, and then I thought, and then I caught myself thinking, oh, I have an opinion about that.
But it's like that. It's not right or wrong, right? It's her choice. We can have allowance for what she chooses. And we're going, wow, that's like an interesting choice. I know. We down to the
I think we must just be grateful. I mean, this is just gratitude right there. Grateful for so much entertainment. I mean, where the hell else would you find that kind of entertainment? I love it. It's fabulous.
Exactly. Very funny. I had someone in the deli too. I mean, we're a little village, right? And I go into the deli. She also had the goggles on, and I'm going, oh. And then right next to her is a gentleman standing with his baby, no masks, no gloves, no nothing. And I'm going, well, cool. And I mean, I have my own point of view on that. That's like, yeah, you've got to build your immune system. You don't want to be cut off, and you want your kids to have an immunity too. Anyway, but that's my interesting point of view. So destroy and uncreate that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, bottle, line, short, boys, and beyond. So. Gary, sorry, you wanted to ask something.
Yes, one thing that struck me, I was listening to Gary's 14th day on his 14 days for $14 last night, and he ended off with a lot of the frack the insanity and crack the stranglehold. Yeah. What a lot of we talk about, I loved your deep dive into the understanding distractors, because in theory, distractors are good. When we're applying it like this, it suddenly starts making sense and lights go off. So thank you.
Yeah, and everywhere you think so you say distractors are good. What do you mean by that?
No, I mean it's good to see how much.
Oh, when you recognize them. Yeah. Well,
good is that I'm seeing them in practicality, not just in theory.
Yes.
It's lovely to see you. Oh, what? That's a distractor.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to ask questions. What is this?
But there's so much insanity going on around the fear and the denial of fear. I don't know which is worse. This morning, I actually woke up for the first time in a couple of days with a feeling of, I can cope with today. And got up and I sat down, and while my computer was booting, I joined one of the groups, which is a 0-point consciousness group, which all these people are putting out esoteric views and things. And the viewpoints around no smoking was almost staging a riot countrywide around that, around running, walking, why the time zones, instead of understanding. And the health minister actually put out that the reason they still put a kibosh on smoking is people in the poorer areas share cigarettes, which is a direct way of sharing the virus if somebody's got it. And it's just part of that inner culture because they don't have. But I got totally taken up in that, and the insanity of, and I started typing a reply to it saying, I'm a nursing sister. When you do away with everyone, let people go back to work so that they can make more money. Will you come to my funeral when I've died looking after one of the people like you that won't follow the advice? And explain to my children why it was important for me to die to keep your business alive. Which was the opposite of the view they were giving, that should we keep 2 or 3 people alive but let all the businesses
but you see, this is the thing.
I deleted that because that was just my opinion.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like there are so many. I mean, it's such a complex. I mean, I don't even want to dive into all the different points of view. Can you imagine? We'll be here for days, right?
Yeah.
Everybody trying to prove their point of view and what's right or wrong or whatever. This is the key to this, is to have the greatness and the awareness for you, is to use the light and heavy. Is this light for me? Yes, it is. Cool. Is this heavy? No, I'm not going to. Then you discard that. It's not about eliminating it from your awareness. It's about not being the effect of it. So that you have all this information and all this knowledge, but you don't want to be the effect of it, right? And the minute you're trying to prove your own point of view about something, that's a limitation too, even if you think it's right.
Exactly.
So this is like,
that is because I asked, would this contribute positively to the country? And it would be no, because I would have created a resistance and a reaction, which would have got them to.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter what side of the coin you're on, you're creating more of that thing, whatever it is, by the energy you're being with it.
On last night's video, Dane was saying, whenever you get this, is to 1, 2, 3, frack the insanity. That is the resistance, that is the fear mongering, and frack the stranglehold that the fear has over us, that government has. A bigger thing to me, with my concerns at the moment, I don't know who to believe. Because half of these videos we've been talking about.
But this is what I'm saying, Gary, is trust you. Is to follow your awareness. And you know what? If you get more information later on that changes your point of view about something, that's fine. It's not about it being a solid, that's it forever and ever. It's like, okay, in this 10 seconds, this is what's going to contribute more, or this 10 seconds, this is what I have an awareness of. But in 2 days' time, you may get different information, and then it changes your perspective on this thing. So this is why you never want to prove a point of view, because it's going to change. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but you don't want to be the effect of any of these things. So this is the thing, is to like just be in a like, just trust you. So everything is not allowing us to trust ourselves and to trust our awareness and our knowing and what we are capable of. Will you now destroy and uncreate that? Times by got to learn, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, and short boys and meals. Because if you listen to everybody, you are going to be so flippant confused and so overwhelmed and so triggered. You're not going to have ease with us at all. And this is now our time to create a totally different reality. So you've got to keep asking, what energy would I like to be and see in the world? Is it more kindness? Is it more gratitude? Is it more peace? Is it more whatever it is, right? Whatever it is for you, be those energies and really acknowledge that by you being those energies, that's how you create a greater reality, by your contribution. So I remember reading, I mean, this is kind of not an access thing, but I read Greg Braden's fractal time, probably 20 years ago now, I can't remember. And the one thing I remember is he said, if you want to shift something in the collective consciousness, again, not access terms, but I'm kind of just putting it there, that you only need a fraction of a percentage for people to have the same energy for it to have a quantum shift. So it's not about, you don't have to individually go around changing other people. Be you, and your energy, when we have enough resonance with those energies, will create that shift. So this is where, whenever you think you're like overwhelmed and underwhelmed yourself and overwhelmed, it's like, no, your little contribution will have a big contribution in the universe. So everywhere you go into doubt that you cannot be a contribution to the change and a more sustainable and a greater future, will you please now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, and beyond. And also, everywhere you compare yourself to others. So when you say, okay, what will it take for me to be greater today? What will it take for me to outcreate myself today? It's not about, don't come from that space of judgment of, oh, I messed up yesterday. At least, well, I messed up yesterday, therefore I've got to do better today. It's not about that. It's like, how can I be more of me? And being more of you is letting go of the definitions. If you want to find out who you are, undefine yourself. Don't define yourself. The definitions by definition alone are the limitation and create judgment. You want to undefine who you are. So you can wake up every morning and say, all the definitions I have of me, I destroy and uncreate them all. Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, boys and beyonds. All my identities that I have, I destroy and uncreate them all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, boys and beyonds. Because your identities are the things as well that create judgment. I have to be a good mother. I have to be a good sister. I have to be a good son. I have to be a good father. I have to be a good employee. Then you set up all these definitions of what that's got to be. And that creates judgment too. So you've got to undefine, unlimit, let go of all your identities, all the personalities, all the everything, right? It's like an undoing and uncreating basically of yourself to know you. And the more you know you, the more you trust you, the more your awareness expands and the more ease you will have with what's going on right now. It's not that comfort and that reassurance that you are seeking externally and outside of you is not there. It's here inside you. That no matter what is going on in your external environment, if you're being triggered by relationships, by health, by body, by money, by business, by your job, whatever it is, those are external triggers that are triggering you on your internal stuff. And you have all the tools to let go of that stuff so that you can see who you really are and be who you really are. And from that space, you will notice that you have there's just a sense of peace and joy being you no matter what. But you can't be the effect of your external environment. That's the key, is to let go of all the triggers of the external environment so that you can be more you. And everywhere you've compared yourself to others, everywhere you're comparing yourself to the Da Vinci's or the famous doctor or the famous healer or the whatever it is, thinking that if you're not as good as that, you're not going to make a difference. Will you please now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short, boys and beyonds. Because in the world of no judgment and no measurement, it's all about being the unique you and not better than anyone else. Anke, you wanted to give us a couple of hands up? And Evelyn,
yes, yeah. we always look at those amazing people, but as an infinite being, I mean, some people not even alive anymore. And I don't want to say they're not great or anything, but limiting us will also set an energy barrier that we won't be able even to outcreate those people. And we always have amazing people who will do something even, I don't want to say better, because it's all based on the judgment. But if I go, I'm not good as XYZ, if everyone would do this, we would have absolutely no evolution. So that's what I'm seeing, what judgment actually does.
Because you want to be a creative energy, generative energy, and compete with yourself, not with others. And how can I out-create myself today is to be more of you every single day, not comparing yourself to other people.
But if I do compare myself to other people, I put the block on to be able to out myself. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Because what happens is when you compare yourself to others, you have to diminish you and make yourself less than in order to make that other person better than you. So competing and comparing, sorry?
I will never be able to live up to my full potential of competing, comparing, of all of the, no matter what it is. If a better car, a better, whatever better goes for, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. So all the comparisons, everywhere you compete with others, you're making yourself less than, you're diminishing yourself. And you've like, because you kind of say, oh, I'm not as good as this person, and then you've got aspects of them that you've decided is better than what you are. You can like, oh, I really like that. What will it take for me to step into that with ease? You can create it from a generative capacity, where it's like, oh, I like that energy, I would like that in my life, or I'd like to be like that. But it's not, oh, I can't be like that because they're much better than me, or I've got to compete with them, or from that less than judgmental energies. There's a generative competition, and then there's the judgmental kind of less than energy. So yeah.
I also don't find what is not created yet, because you're comparing only to what you know, but not what is unknown waiting for you, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah, because then you just stick with that energy, right? And you're not going beyond, because you've decided that's the ultimate like goal to achieve, instead of going beyond.
I'm feeling that with the judgment. Jenny knows I have big judgment on face mask and and I tapped into anger. You have no idea. She knows. And also I realized by falling into that trap, because I can't really say that I've chosen to react like this, because it just comes over me and it has me, no matter what the topic is around there. So I realized that what I'm really doing to myself, but it's sometimes very easy and at other times not, is what I just said. I'm only comparing or actually judging what I do know right now, but I'm not in a creative space to find out something new, or and I don't want to say going beyond it, because there is the infinite being. We all know what's right and wrong in something, and there is this being operating here. It's the same.
Well, the infinite, does the infinite being function from right or wrong, or is it just the way we are functioning as a limited being, looking for the right or wrong?
Yeah, however you want to call that. And I just try to put something in where I have a little, I don't even want to say problem, because now what I'm trying to do is putting some words into something without sounding completely judgmental. But I know, everyone knows if you tap into your potential, or, like an infinite being, however you want to call it. And then I have to go shopping with the face mark as an example, or whatever it is. There is something else happening, and I suddenly don't feel so great as an infinite being anymore.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and that's where so this is where you don't want to be the effect of your external environment. That's like, then use the tools, right? Interesting point of view, I had this point of view, return to center with consciousness attached, destroy and uncreate everywhere sucked into this, or distract the implants. Because here's it's okay, so cool, thank you for that. So everywhere, so even if you don't know when this moment is, that moment when you gave over your power and control to your external environment, will you now go to that moment energetically and destroy and uncreate all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, and computations that you came to, that thing, person, experience, whatever it is, had more power and control over you? Will you now please revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shoppies, and beyonds. Because something will have power and control over you by your point of view of that thing. That's how you give up your power and control. So you can be power and control all the time by being more of you, and the less effect of the external environment. But if you've decided that somebody has more power than you, or the external environment has more power than you, that the government has more power than you, then the virus has more power than you, that's where you're going to become the effect of that thing. It's like, no, trust your body, trust you, trust your awareness, trust that your body can, if it gets a virus, will, if you don't have a death wish, will build an immunity to it. And you may be ill or you may not. I mean, some people are not even getting ill with it, right? They're getting the virus and then it just, their bodies handle it and then you move on. Who knows? Everybody's body is different. There's no one size fits all here. So anyway, you've given your power over to anything outside of you. I'll get you now to Janine. Will you now destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shortways and beyonds. Everywhere you've decided, judged, concluded, or computed that anything outside of you has more power and more control over you, will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, announce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shortways and beyonds. Cool. Janine?
Thank you. I was wondering if you could do that clearing statement about going back to the beginning where that started, of handing over power to the outside or someone else or something else.
Yeah. So that
was huge for
that
me.
moment when you
Yeah.
decided somebody else had more power and control over you. That moment when you gave your power and your control over to someone else by your point of view, your judgment, your conclusion, whatever it was, will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, announce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shortways and beyonds. And in any lifetime that you've done that and you're still bringing it into this lifetime, will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, announce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shortways and beyonds. Cool. Evelyn, before I get into trouble with Jobst, thanks Jobst. At least somebody's trying to control this call, right? Because it's like going all over the place. Evelyn, you're up. Unmute, darling.
Sorry, my internet connection is acting out. Thank you for the Corona conversation. I got a lot. I went into a little resistance, but then I dropped it and got a lot out of it. So coming back to the title of your call, Jenny, your call has arrived at a perfect moment for my where I was. And when we started it, you cleared all definitions, points of view, etc. we have about what it is to be great or greater. Mm-hmm. So the highlight here for me is greater. I was, and funny enough, every time you talk about, I mean, all of us here talk about judgment and superiority, inferiority, comparison, I couldn't stop yawning. So being greater in my universe was meaning the right race, the competition, trying to be on the top. And for many, many years, I reacted to that. I didn't know, but now I can see it. I was judging those people wanting to be greater. And my reaction was, no, I'm going to choose to be complacent. There's complacency. That's just that good enough, not creating more, just that good enough. Because people wanting to be greater, they are bad. You know, I judge them, and they use competition, they use force and control. They have to squash other people to step on other people to be there on the top. That was a big judgment. I wasn't aware, but yeah, I can see it. I was creating less for myself as a reaction.
Yeah, so you backed off in the face of judgment. So everywhere you've backed off in the face of judgment, competition, control, and force, will you destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla and right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shortways and beyonds. Because when you're asking to be more of you, it's when you're being more of you, you don't need to prove anything. You don't have to do it from force or control. You can just ask to be energetically more of you. More knowing, ask for more knowing, be. I ask for what energy, space, consciousness can my body and I be to function, to make knowing, being, perceiving, receiving, awareness, and allowance a priority for me today with total ease for all eternity. So that I can be in the energy of that.
Yeah.
And then you don't, you see, like if you're willing to be all of you all the time, it's not about putting your blinkers on and ignoring everyone, but you get that you're not the effect of anything because you're just being you.
Mm.
We're not supposed to be like anybody else. We're not supposed to be like anybody else. You look at this thing here. Does one of us look like anyone else here? Does one of us have do we all have the same points of view? Do we all have the same history? Do we all have the same bodies? Do we all have the same? No, we're not supposed to be like each other. Otherwise we'd be like robots, right? And I know that we're trying to make us into robots, but we're not robots. That's why you got to step into being more of you. We are unique individuals of the whole, where we're all connected. And if we could all have more kindness for each other and have allowance for everybody's points of view and not trying to change each other and be more of you, would we have a greater reality? Who knows? I mean, that's my interesting point of view. Sorry.
I mean, that's interesting, Jenny, because I sense there's a bit of truth with lies there.
Yeah.
What did you say now?
About being you and not competing?
We've been told that. Yeah,
we've
been told that forever. We've been told from the side, oh, little girl, oh, you're so special, you're so unique, you're so cute, don't compare yourself. But yet there was always another message.
Yeah, but were you aware of
There's
the
always
judgment that came with that? Because they were comparing you to someone else. Yeah, because it was done.
I think just generally, the real message out there is you guys better all be the same.
Yeah.
There's a message out there globally and maybe for 100 million years that you guys better all be the same.
Yeah.
Otherwise there's going to be big trouble.
Yeah.
So there's that conflicting universe.
But when they say, oh, you're so special and you're so unique, are they saying that to you because they've judged and concluded that you fit into that perfect scenario? So that came from a judgmental energy. It wasn't like, oh, I love the way you think. Oh, you do this so differently to everyone else. How amazing is that? It's like, no, you fit in with a good girl persona, so therefore that you've been praised as being a good girl, but you're aware of the underlying energy of judgment that came with that. So that's like, it's kind of crazy, right? It's like gaslighting. It's like gaslighting you and saying,
that's exactly it.
This is the way you're supposed to be, but be you, but be like this. So everything that is comes by Godzilla and will you destroy it and create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, huddle, and shoppers and beyonds. So be you, be willing to be different, be willing to be weird. Just get that you're going to have totally different points of view to everybody else and be okay with that. We are not supposed to be the same. We are all unique. But we can still be a contribution to each other from that space of being unique. We can be a contribution to each other when we are being us. That's when you can be the greatest contribution, is when you're being you. When you're not being you, when you're diminished and limited and judged the hell out of yourself and abused yourself, it's really tricky to be a contribution to anybody else when you're in that space. So what contribution can we be to ourselves, to our environment and the planet by being more of us? Cool. Dale?
Yeah, hi. So I did remember that other thing that I was going to say.
Cool.
I did remember it a while ago. So it was just, I saw your call, the title, and this morning I woke up and I thought, so if I'm just taking me with all of this that's happening around, what future can I be and create now?
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm just going to go into that. Like, what, with all this stuff happening, what is it that we could be and do? Well, I'm just going to say for me, what is it that I can be and do to create a future for me?
Be and choose.
Absolutely. So instead, for me, it's like, instead of buying into all of this and everything that everyone's been saying, it's stuff that's been floating around, it's coming up, it's prevalent, and it's here to, for me, it's here for all of us to look at this, to rise above the shit, excuse my French, sorry about the French speaking, to rise above the shit, not French, but, and to see what we can then be and do for ourselves. Let's start with ourselves, our bodies, the planet, and then anyone and everyone who's willing to join us on this journey, or be it, you know, be part of it or not. It doesn't matter. It's like, for me, what can I now be and do? What do I desire my future to be? What do I desire my future to be now?
And you get that when you ask that question, it's not to find the answer for that, it's to acknowledge the energies that you would like to have in your life.
Absolutely.
And as you live your day, then you like, oh, I like that energy. I like that energy. What would it take for more of that to show up? It's not about what can I be and choose today and know exactly what that's going to be. It's like, be the energy and the question of that. And then the day unfolds that creates that with you. So that you are creating with the universe and with consciousness by being the question.
So for me, what also triggered was the other day, somebody sent around a little thing about some chappie who was saying, well, you know, I was speaking to my friends and they were wanting to go, he calls himself a futurist, and they were wanting to go and travel. And he said, well, gosh, I just had to say to them, you're just not getting this, are you? Because you know, when you might not ever be able to travel for years. I thought, and I just turned it off. I thought, I'm not listening to this, because if I'm to buy that, you know, for me, I want to travel. So I'm going to put out there that I would love to travel, and whether it comes tomorrow or next week or next year, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put and be that energy up. I'm traveling. I'm going to go where I want to go. I'm going to be and do what I want to do, and it doesn't have to happen now, but I'm still going to be that energy.
Exactly.
And that for me is like, wow. It's like, sure, there's all this stuff, and then blah de blah, and now what can I choose, and what future would I like to create? And even if you go into like a whole long, you know, the earth this, and it's fine. I mean, it's, you know, daydream, have fun, rather be that than listening to this crap of this reality.
But like,
hello.
I would like also like the energy on that, destroy and uncreate that.
The crap of this reality,
So like maybe a bit of intensity on this, so maybe destroy and uncreate that, because you don't. So here's the thing with when we're choosing something, if we're choosing from overreaction, you're choosing from the judgment that you have of that thing, and that's still creating that again. If you destroy and uncreate the charge on that, then you're creating from that. Place, right?
No,
does that make sense?
I'm just laughing, you know, it's like,
I get you.
You know, you know, and if one can keep your sense of humor, guys, oh, good grief.
Watch funny things.
Watch something funny.
I've joined Billy Collins' Facebook page because he's so funny.
Absolutely.
Got a laugh.
And ask the universe to show you something funny, even if it's yourself. I mean, I'm always asking, show me the funny of me, universe, because, you know, we are quite funny. And and I think that's kind of like also something that could help.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, cool. That was the second thing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny, and thanks everyone for this call. So far so good.
You're welcome.
Another question, Jenny. When you were talking, you were saying things about being diminished, limited, and abused, and how that's not you. Somehow that created like quite a charge for me. I think that there's an aspect of me that thinks that is me and thinks that is necessary in my world and is real and all that, and not knowing how to get beyond that into the truth of me and stay there.
So truth, are you infinite being? So truth, would you still require abuse?
No.
Okay, so everything that is times by Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Raironga, Bad Papalan, Shopways and Beyonds. And is there some part of that story that you still have an attachment to?
Yes.
Cool. So everywhere you're still attached to that, and everywhere you're still attached to abuse, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter, will you now destroy and uncreate them? Times by Godzillion, Raironga, Bad Papalan, Shopways and Beyonds. Because the thing is, when you've experienced abuse, you recover from that abuse because of the abuse. Does that make sense? So it triggers you into starting a journey of healing, being more of you, trying to find more of you, whatever it is, whatever the tools are that you use to start recovering from the abuse. The thing is, if you have some kind of identification with it, if you have some kind of attachment to the story, you'll still be the effect of it, and you'll still be creating from that abuse. Because of the abuse, I'm like this. Because of the abuse, I did this. Because of the abuse. So would you be willing to give up the because of the abuse?
Mm-hmm.
Everything not allowing ease with that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shoppers and beyonds. Because then because true choice is choosing, what would I like to choose today? Not what would I like to choose today because of this, or in spite of this, or whatever, because that's not choice. You're still creating that same energy. So everything that is times by Godzilla, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shoppers and beyonds. Now, truth, are you willing to choose beyond abuse? That it doesn't even have to feature in your life anymore. Cool. Everything not allowing ease with that for you, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shoppers and beyonds. And everywhere you've experienced so much abuse that it still resonates in every single cell of your body. And everywhere you've experienced abuse that it is still resonating emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, energetically for you. And that's all you've ever known. So that's the only way you can function. Will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Times by Godzilla, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short boys and beyonds, and then eliminate it from your universe. Cool. How's that?
Yeah, a lot lighter. Mm.
Awesome. Okay, any last minute questions? So everybody, if you're willing to be, sorry,
last question. Just something to align with that truth of who we are, some kind of a.
So everywhere you think it's an alignment and not just part of your being, will you destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short boys and beyonds. Maybe we try and give it form and structure somehow. Energy doesn't have form or structure. It just is. Yeah. Sorry, did you have a question before I rudely interrupted you?
No, go for it.
Okay, so what energy, space, consciousness, choice, possibilities, miracles, magic can we in our bodies be and choose every single day with total ease? What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can we in our bodies choose to be a walking, talking question, possibilities, to create more, create your future, to always be you, to out-create who you were yesterday by being more of you. Everywhere you're not willing to challenge yourself and step up into being more of you, will you not destroy and uncreate that? Times by Godzilla, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short boys and beyonds. And would you be willing to empower yourself every single day? Would you be willing to make the demand to not limit yourself by judgment? Would you now be willing to make the demand to not be the effect of this reality, not get caught up in distractor implants, and be question and possibility and contribution to a brand new reality for all of us that could possibly include some kindness and nurturing and care for each other without the burden of everything else that came before? So everything not allowing ease for that for all of you, will you now destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, short boys and beyonds. Cool. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Jenny.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Go be
Awesome.
greater. Be greater.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you. Thanks, Lydia, for
Bye.
translating.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Lydia. Bye.
Thank you. Merci. Obrigada.
Merci. Merci.
Blessings.
Obrigada. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Bye.